Alright. Should be, I think this fifth video on apocalyptic library books. Okay, for your grid down SHTF library, right? But first, slug of coffee. If you guys missed it, I got this Aladdin cup, thermal cup. So, made by Aladdin. Aladdin doesn't exist anymore. Aladdin made the John E. pocket heaters and all that stuff for outdoorsmen. They owned Stanley for a while, and they had all kinds of goodies. But yeah, made in America. You can buy a new Stanley one. I think they call it the Admiral's Cup or something. It's got the wide base, it's steel, but it's made in China. Hence, I won't buy it. It looks cool, but it's made in China. So. Nope. The least I can do is try to buy stuff that's made in America or by our allied friends, right? That's what I try to do the most. The scarves are a different story. You know, to get pashmina scarves, the best scarves are made in Nepal and China and that. They just are, because they've been doing materials like that for donkey's years. I mean, forever, right? So, and you got to find a good scarf in America. Forget it. It's going to cost you a couple $100. I'm not paying a couple $100 for a scarf. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. Got to pick and choose. I talked about tariffs a couple videos ago. Tariffs used to pay for all government expenses, hence no income tax before 1913. So yeah, what we got to do is I'm going to get back to the books. What we got to do is we got to bring manufacturing here. Has to be manufacturing in this country. People got to get it in their head that we have got to reopen mills, wool mills and other companies. It's all got to be here. We got to be here. We got to do it ourselves and be self-reliant, contained. We need to get away from foreign stuff as much as we can. All right, enough of that. I'm going to get on with these books, or I'll never get it done. And I'm not done anyway, because I got a lot of books. So, guys. All right, so this fella here, Christopher Mierges, all right. He's one of the Larry Dean Olson group. So he's kind of like in that, under that umbrella, right? We got Westcott and others and so on over there in that area, Utah, Idaho, and all that sort of thing, and you know, all the rabbit stick people and whatnot, right? So he's kind of in that group of people, and as well Ron Hood, right? So we talked about that. So when you see this fella's name, you know, now you know, right? Okay, he's all right. He's coming out of a good group, you know, and he's going to be all right. His stuff's going to be, stuff's probably going to be, you know, exactly what you're looking for, right? So anyway, this particular book is an all-arounder. How to survive anywhere, right? a guide for urban, suburban, rural, and wilderness environments. Alright, so got all kinds of goodies in here. So, I think he's out in California or somewhere like that, maybe Nevada. I mean, pump drill and making things and just all kinds of good stuff in here. So this is a good book to have in your library. All right, so says here somebody said some kind of an actor who I'd never heard of before. He says this book shows us that survival is a mindset, and that by understanding the principles of survival, we'd fare better in the woods or in the aftermath of an urban disaster. And that's really true. You know, got to have the proper mindset. So the next book is also by Christopher, and this is a good book on navigation, and it's called The Ultimate Guide to Navigating Without a Compass. Okay, it says there's more than 50 tips. It says how to find your way using the sun, stars, and other natural methods. Right? So there it is. Okay. It's got in here additional topics. How to read a map, how to make a sundial, how to make a star dial, how to track celestial changes. He's got how to use clouds to predict weather patterns. I think that's probably obsolete now with all of the geoengineering. Okay, but it might still be of use to you. Maybe, maybe not. How to gauge time through natural observation, which is true. Natural observation. Okay, one thing that I learned a long time ago was to know when is the sun going down. Okay, when is the sun going down? And this is a very important tool to know, because you got to have certain things ready and in place before the light is gone. It just makes sense. You don't want to be out there with a head torch, you know, or whatnot. Making certain times, there's certain situations you don't want, you know, to have a light to give you away. You want to be a little bit more tactical or subdued or whatnot. Get everything ready before the sun is down. So the way you do that is use your hand, and every finger is 15 minutes of sunlight. So you put your hand at horizon, and wherever the sun falls in there, it's 15 minutes, 15, 30, 45, 1 hour. Okay, so that's how you do it. You figure out just loose hand like that, and you put the bottom of the finger, the little finger at the horizon, and then, you know, it's 15, 15, 15. Okay, I've got an hour. Okay, and if I need more than one, then I can go like this. Okay, and then I can figure that out. Right? Maybe I got 2 hours of sunlight left. Right? I don't know if that's in this book. I thumbed through all of these books, and I might read just a little bit here and there to make sure that the information is really good and correct, and then I'll decide, you know. I didn't do that with one other book, and it was not a good book. I'm not gonna say a bad book. I'd say it's not a good book. Anyway, I can't remember if I put that in the last video or not. So moving on here. These are old books. Old, okay? This particular one has $2.95 on it. Now this book is called Orienteering, and it's written by John Disley, D-I-S-L-E-Y. For all who can walk and climb excitement with map and compass in park and forest. Okay, so this is kind of an orienteering book, kind of leads on to sport stuff, right? But this is an excellent book. Okay, anything that can like broaden your knowledge with navigation, you should think about it. Not all navigation books are great, though. I'll tell you, some are very, very confusing for the average person. But that's a good book. And it's got a couple of young people on the cover there, you know, Boy Scout age. So I'm sure that the average person can understand what's going on in there. Now this book is excellent. Now this book is from World War II era, okay, and it's put out. It's put out by the Infantry Journal for the soldier, and it's got maps with it, okay, and it's got all of these black and white photos and everything, and it gives you, like here it says, your hand, a key to the land. And so basically they're talking about, you know, the contouring of the land and so on, and you know, basically how you can kind of get the same mentality with maps. And like this is a map of hand land, right? The map of hand land. Contour lines are form lines. Yeah. So it's got all kinds of stuff to kind of get people to understand exactly how maps work, right? So this was designed to pull some kid right out of high school and send him off to war as soon as he's got the basics down, right? Every land shape has a name. But anyway, talks about maps, compasses, how to use the compass, how to connect azimuths together and all that jazz. You know, we talked about the Paul method one time on here. But the Paul method is really just a method that's been going around for years and years, right? So it's not really new. But it's probably like a forgotten thing and then rediscovered, you know, that sort of stuff. It says, map reading for the soldier, the Infantry Journal, okay? So this has had maps in there from the World War II, right? Practice maps and stuff, it's still in here. All the stuff is here, right? Protractor and whatnot, all in there. So got all kinds of stuff in there. So it came with everything. So I definitely recommend that if you can find it. And on the back it says standard military books. Map reading for the soldier, $1. That was $1. War in Outline, 1939 to 1943. 25 cents. Alright, get quiet. Let's see here. How to shoot the U.S. Army rifle. The Jap soldier. Scouting and patrolling. Psychology for the fighting man. Hitler's Second Army. Tank fighter team. Weapons for the future. Blitzkrieg, Armies on Wheels, blah blah blah. It's got all this stuff. The following books are for sale to the armed services only. The Battle is the Payoff. The Fight at Pearl Harbor. Japan's Military Masters. Machine Warfare. Gas Warfare. The Living Thoughts of Clausewitz. Conflict. The Civil War, The Gun, Rifleman, Thesaurus of Humor, with 5,000 jokes. I'll bet that they were not clean jokes either. Alright, so How to Track and Find Game by Clyde Ormond. That's kind of an, that's an oldie, but I thought I'd throw that in there. It talks about moose and elk and all kinds of good stuff. See you later.